everybody, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan, and this is Kana, and you're sitting in her corner. And I have an awesome guest here, a man who survived countless deaths. Welcome to the show, Jonathan Osborne.
Hello, hello.
Now,
Hello to all those listeners out there.
You have a very interesting name, and that would be Man of a Thousand Deaths. Can you explain why that is your name?
Yes, that's one of those nicknames that you've earned, and I can't really claim responsibility for it. It was at OhioCon, which of course is in Ohio, and OhioCon, when they had me as a guest at the very first OhioCon, I might add, it was the very first OhioCon, and I was on friendly terms with the guy who formed the whole convention, and he introduced me at that convention as Jonathan Osborne, the Man of a Thousand Deaths. He's the one who coined that phrase for me, and it has stuck, and it has gone around the convention circuit. The reason that I even was called the Man of a Thousand Deaths is because I'm a walla voice actor, and the term walla is a industry term. It just refers to all the background characters, background voices, all those extras, all those people in the background. If you have as I have mentioned many times, if you have this scene with the giant monster, I'm one of the people who just runs out. He's like, "Oh my God, a monster!" and runs off, and then you never see me again. And so. As it happened, right before OhioCon, I had done a lot of voice work for Fist of the North Star, where I just was getting killed a countless number of times. In the particular episodes I was in, I was playing members of the Fang clan. And so, I mean, the death toll on Fist of the North Star is ridiculously high. And I was joking around with him shortly before the convention about this one particular session where there were a lot of voice actors in a Walla session, because usually in a Walla session you have a group of voice actors, and we were doing this scene, and after all the voice actors left, I was still around. I was still hanging around the studio because. The truth be told, I was hanging around because there was a really cool pinball machine, and I wanted to play the pinball machine before I left, and the director came out, and he grabbed me and said, "This isn't sounding full enough," and everyone else had left, so the director pulled me back in. I had to loop the scene a few more times. So in this one particular scene, I'm looped over like 8 or 9 times. And so I was joking with him. I'm like, "I'm half the Fang clan." And yeah, it was just hours and hours of getting killed. And since a lot of what I do is getting killed, different anime titles, he, like I said, he introduced me as Man of a Thousand Deaths, and it's just stuck. It's just and it's kind of funny because there's a lot of anime I don't get killed in.
Well, I'm curious, is there an interesting death scene that maybe sticks out in your mind that you've been a part of?
Oh yeah, no, the one that cracks me up the most still, because the thing is, one of the things that's true about Walla voice acting is you have no idea what's coming. They'll usually just call you up and say, "Hey, can you come in for 2 hours for a Walla session?" You don't know what show you're doing. You don't know who you're going to be. You don't know what's happening. And I get to be in a Walla session for the anime The Big O. And, we were just doing random scenes because, again, with a Walla, they'll jump to one scene, have you do a few Walla, and then they'll jump to another scene, and then they'll jump to another scene. And so there were, again, 4 of us in the booth. And in this particular scene, it was a party. It was like this upper crust, wealthy community. They were having a party. Everyone was dressed, in tuxedos and fancy outfits. and this sinister character shows up, looking very much like the Joker, and he's talking with the main character, and then he unleashes his evil plot, and people at the party just catch on fire. And the thing is, up till then, we were doing mingling at the party noises, just, while they were playing the scenes, to just go in and pretend that you're wealthy people at this party, just doing random, oh, isn't it lovely day? Oh, fine thing, and then all of a sudden our heads are on fire. and that just so caught me off guard. I'm like, okay, heads on fire.
So you got to scream.
And needless to say, one of the final shots in the sequence is people, leaping out of the window. There's, this tall skyscraper, and people are leaping out of the window with their heads on fire. But the thing is, all of us were so caught off guard by the fact that we had gone from pleasant party to being on fire that we were all in hysterics. So needless to say, when it got to the scene of us jumping out of it, we were cracking up. So of course we had to do the take several times, but I just remember the first time we were doing the take and they had the people jumping out the window on fire, but we were just like, woo! Cannonball!
See, I think they should have kept that in.
Oh, there's so many things. There are so many things. That's the one fun thing about Walla, is there are so many things in the that make it into the background, because after you've got the main character voices and the music and the sound effects, you can barely hear what we're actually saying, and there are some things there that are just so funny if you could hear them.
Now I'm really wondering why they don't put that in the bloopers on the CD or the DVD. That would be great commentary.
Oh, it would be. It would be fun. The voice director, back when I was in California, there was a voice director, Taliesin Jaffe, who, because of a story I told about my Walla with the anime series Fushigi Yugi, he always tries to slip in this one line whenever he had used me as a Walla voice actor. Because I would, I have a story about Fushigi Yugi that ends with a comment about ancient China, and so he every now and then would have me slip in the phrase ancient China, no matter what I was doing.
It would be awesome if you could somehow slip in a phrase every time you want.
Yeah, no, I even have that, a few phrases that have gone around. In fact, again, on that topic, and I'm just jumping all over the place, so I hope you don't mind. But
oh, no,
on that topic, one of my personal jokes when I was first doing Walla was whenever I could, I would, for no very good reason, I couldn't even begin to explain why I would do it, but every now and then I would slip in the phrase, "Yarg, my eyes, my eyes." They're like, "Yeah, my eyes." And it was sort of another one of those jokes. In fact, again, with my friend Taliesin, there was one where I was just doing another party scene. And in this particular case, it was a party where you didn't even see the people. You just saw the house where the party was happening. And, I was like, wow, what a great day. Hey, who brought the soda? Yarg, my eyes, my eyes. How are you doing? And, we just sort of slipped. And I don't think that got removed. But I bring the story up because when I moved to Texas, Matt Greenfield, who's the head of AD Vision, was kind enough to let me come into a Walla session down in Houston, sort of as a welcome to Texas thing, because and so I drove all the way down to Houston, and I was in an anime series called Gantz, and in the episode of Gantz, again, like I said, you have no idea what you're walking into, and the scene involves this guy who is beaten up by a bunch of thugs, and then the thugs pull the guy's teeth out.
Oh.
And I had to do, noises of my teeth being pulled out. But Matt Greenfield had actually written into my Wallace script that at some point I was supposed to say, "Yarg my teeth, my teeth." And as soon as I saw that in the script, I just started cracking up. And of course, in between scenes, I was like, "Hey, Matt, how nice of my Welcome to Texas is getting my teeth ripped out." And Matt's like, "Yeah, welcome to Texas, John."
That sounds very, very painful. I those must be some blood-curdling cries.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I made some pretty disgusting noises for that.
Now, I'm curious. You've gotten character roles as well, not just Walla, correct?
Yes. I mean, again, the characters I've played have been minor characters. I really couldn't point to any major character.
At the same time, is there a big difference between Walla and just doing a side character?
It depends. Because during a Walla session, there might be like a tiny character, a character who has 5 lines or 2 lines or just a line. And those kind of characters will usually be handled in the Walla sessions. So aside from just doing the random crowd noises and random deaths of guards, sometimes they'll just be a guy, and it's like, okay, you're that guy. And again, no preparation, no idea what's coming. It's just, there it is, and you've got to go do it. But there are other characters who I've played who have been more substantial, and for those characters, I'm brought in separately. I'm not part of a Walla group, and I'm just there recording the one character. But again, the interesting thing is that almost all of the characters that I've played, it's usually, in most cases, they just go, "Hey, we think John would be good for this character." They call me up and say, "We'd like you to come in and play this character." So, with the major characters, there's a whole audition process that you have to go through, and hoping that you'll get the character. And the sad truth is that I have yet to have a character that I auditioned for. Except for one, which isn't really true. I went to an audition. I auditioned for a major character, and the voice director called me back and said, "You know that voice you did for such and such a character? Well, we don't think the voice works for that character you auditioned for, but there's a character that we think the voice would be perfect for." So, in a way, I kind of got one part through an audition, even though it wasn't a part I auditioned for. So I did at least get one part through the audition process in that way. But most of the characters I've played have just the voice directors, having worked with me, just were like, "Oh, there's a character that would be good for John to do," and then they'd call me up and I'd go in. But I have been to a few auditions, and there were all I could tell you is there have been some auditions where it came very close. I mean, there was one audition where literally I was the second choice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was like, and that one actually was one of the saddest ones too, because the character I would have been playing would have been a pyromaniac.
Ooh, that would have
which
been
involved,
fun.
Because the audition line was all this thing about the guy calmly talking and just, just talking about, normal things, and then suddenly he'd start thinking about fire, and he'd just go insane until he was finally just laughing hysterically, talking about things burning. And I had so much fun at the audition, and that it's only sad in the sense that was one of the ones I was almost certain I had. Then they're like, "Oh, we're going with this guy," but if it wasn't for that, it would have been you. And so, I take small solace in that. But
Well, no, I understand.
but there's so many people. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people auditioning for everything. You can't take it to heart if you don't get the part.
Oh, definitely. There's a lot of competition out there.
And in a small way, I do kind of enjoy the fact that I have become the famous extra. I'm the famous red shirt.
Yeah, that's true, and that gets you, glory and fame throughout the convention halls.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I honestly never thought anyone would be interested in hearing from the extra.
Well, actually, I remember, I think it was, you were at Anime Vegas '09. And there were quite a lot of people at the Future of Voice Acting panel, and I remember you had to sort of, I guess, like, orchestrate that panel on your own because the other people were late.
Oh, yeah, no, it's interesting, that's how my first panel went. My very first panel for any convention was at Anime Expo. And truth be told, I at that time was like, who wants to hear from me? I get killed. I get killed a lot. People who are at the conventions, they want to hear from the main guys. They don't want to hear from the guy who went getting shot by the main guy. And my very good friend Neil Nadelman, who is a professional translator and just one of the best translators out there as far as I'm concerned. He's the one who said, "Oh, you should go. Just go and do it. It'll be fun. Don't worry about it." And that particular year, Anime Expo, I don't know what happened, but no one showed up for the voice actor panel, except for me.
Uh-oh.
So there I was, going, where are the other voice actors? And the last thing I wanted to do was be the only voice actor at the table. But as it finally came time to do the panel, I saw in the crowd, this other voice actor, Brad DeMoss, and he and I had done a Wallace session together, and I was like, hey, Brad, you want to come up and do this panel with me? So Brad and I went up, and so it was two Waller voice actors, and that was it. But we managed to pull the panel off and actually had a good time, and after that, I was like, oh, I'll do this again, sure.
Well, we're going to take a very short break, but when we come back, we'll learn even more about your convention experiences. So stay tuned to 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want, nothing.
91.8thefan.com. Have you logged on today?
Who, me? No. No?
iStock's daily news show, video reviews, articles, forums, and an anime directory. Don't get left behind. Log in today. Only on
918thefan.com?
918thefan.com.
All right, 918thefan.com.
Hey everybody, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan, and you're sitting in Kana's corner, and Jonathan Osborne, I didn't even say your name right, I'm terrible.
That's okay.
Is also sitting in my corner.
As long as you corrected it.
Yes, I did. After I said it, I was like, oh no! I had a dumb moment. This is why I'm blonde, people. But we were actually talking about your convention experiences. Do you have any conventions coming up?
Yes, I do. Actually, I am going to be at Fanime, the Fanime convention in San Jose. And I should add that it is going to be my 10th consecutive appearance at Fanime.
Oh, wow.
And if you have not been to Fanime, you really should be at Fanime, because Fanime is an awesome, awesome convention. And it is the last weekend of May. It's the Memorial Day weekend.
That's quite an honor to be invited about 10 times.
Oh, yeah, no, I cannot sing the praises of Fanime enough. I cannot. There are so many things that I have done at the Fanime convention that just, like my third Fanime in, the person who was running Fanime at that time actually had invited guests to take part in an official Japanese tea ceremony. And so I was one of the guests who accepted. I took part in the tea ceremony with Giles Poitras, who's a wonderful writer and a great guy, and he's a great guy for conventions. If you ever meet Giles, he's the nicest guy I have ever met at any convention. and Stan Sakai. Stan Sakai, of course, who is the creator of the Usagi Yojimbo comic book. And I've been reading that comic book since I was in high school. So to suddenly be sitting there having a tea ceremony with Stan Sakai, I was like, holy cow! I was having my major geek moment. I'm like, Stan Sakai is right there! Oh my god! And the person who was in charge of the convention at that time, came out, did the whole traditional tea ceremony, followed all the proper steps of it. It was quite an experience. Of course, if you want to talk about major geeking out, and this will certainly appeal to any of the listeners out there, I mean, one of the regular guests of Fanime is none other than Mr. Yamaga, who, of course, is the head of Gainax Animation Studio. And, Gainax gave us such titles as Evangelion, Furikuri, see, now it's all slipping out of my head, and these are all my favorite films, and I can't think of their titles. Wings of Oniyamis, Nadia, Secret of Blue Water, Gunbuster. I mean, this is the guy.
Oh, definitely.
This, actually, just getting to just sit and hang around with the head of Gainax Animation Studio. I'm in total fanboy heaven right now. I can't even, all the experiences at Fanime. In fact, I don't normally like to toot my own horn too much, but Fanime actually in 2008 really did me an amazing honor. They actually created an award which they named after Mr. Yamaga, so it's the Yamaga Award. And in 2008, they released the very first Yamaga, which they gave to me.
Aww.
And the award, it's an award that actually, if I were to win an award, this is the one I would want, because the award simply was an award for all the service I had done for the convention. All the help and just everything I had been, because it was my 8th year. And, anything they asked me to do, I did. They'd say, hey, would you host this? Hey, would you do this? Hey, would you do a panel on this? Would you join this guy on this panel? I'm like, sure. And so they created the Yamaga Award because, of course, Mr. Yamaga himself had, so generously donated his time. I mean, he, obviously the head of an animation studio, coming to this convention consistently, that certainly is, something to be appreciated. I mean, he doesn't have to keep coming to this convention in California. He doesn't have to keep doing that. But he that same year, 2008, he actually brought the entire staff.
Oh my!
Of Gainax, the entire staff, and so they named the award after him for all he had done for the convention, and then the very first recipient was me for all I had done for the convention. So it was an award for just being a nice guy, and I'm like, wow. I mean, I honestly was dumbfounded. I could barely speak when they revealed the award because I was about to, I was asking them if I could actually go because a friend of mine had just opened a store, and he wanted me to come and see the store before I had to leave the convention. And so I told the current head of Fanime, Jason Ebner, I told him, I have a friend who wants me to see his store, and I was wondering if it would be okay if I skipped closing ceremonies. And Ebner's like, no, you should really come to closing ceremonies. And I'm like, okay. But if you could, maybe put me toward the front so that I could go and see this guy's store, because I have to go do that, and then I have to pack and leave. And sure enough, I stayed for the closing ceremonies, and they just shocked the heck out of me with that award. So I'm the very first recipient of the Yamaga Award, I don't, they've now made that a regular part of Fanime. I mean, they had me as part of the presentation for the second Yamaga Award last year, and the two of us will be joining Jason Ebner to present whoever receives the third Yamaga Award. I hope it's Giles, because Giles definitely is another Fanime, just a Fanime regular.
Well, congratulations. That's really cool that they would honor you like that, and I hope that a lot of our listeners catch you at that convention too.
Oh yeah, no, it's Fanime, and it's at San Jose, and that definitely is a convention you wanna go to. It's one of my favorites.
And now, before we depart and let you go, is there anything that you want to promote or tell our listeners about?
Oh, goodness. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Because I wish I could see a lot of what I do. There's not really, being a Waller voice actor, there's not a lot to promote. The only thing I can promote, I already just spent a good part promoting, which is my appearance at the San Jose convention. Because and again, anime is awesome. And the only other thing, of course, is that I'm trying to work on this comic book, but unfortunately, it's at a state where there's nothing to be seen yet, really.
Well, is there any way our fans can keep track of that? Will you be making a website or anything like that?
Well, I'm sure there will be. We're still trying to just get things negotiated. I've been working with the artists, but we don't really have any kind of web page or anything. And then I feel very bad about that, because I would love to tell everyone, go to this web page. This is where you want to, but we're just not at that point, which is.
Well, no, I can understand. I mean, when you guys do get to that point, make sure to send us an email, and we will update our listeners on that.
But I'm of course I'm there on the Facebook. I have been entrapped into Facebook like so many others, and though truth be told, I mean, on Facebook I just gab about whatever. I gab about the movie I saw, or complain about my regular job.
Or you play Mafia Wars, I noticed.
I do play Mafia Wars, yes. That has become a strange addiction. But yeah, I mean, I am terribly sorry. I don't really have much in the way to promote, but we can gab about other things if we have
I totally understand.
any time left. Because
well, I'm actually being nudged a little bit here. So I will say, before we do let you go, would you like to compete in a 91.8 The Fan tradition?
Uh-oh. Okay.
It's not painful, don't worry.
Okay.
We do this live on air for the bloopers, but we get everybody, whether they're a voice talent or not, to say and do a bump for us, if they are willing.
Oh, okay, sure.
We were wondering if you could say, my name is, I do this, and you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
91.8 The Fan?
Yes.
All right, let me just make sure I have that right. 91.8 The Fan.
And whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jonathan Osborne. I get killed a lot, and you're listening to 91.8 The Fan.
I'm sure that'll be one of our next favorite bumps because that was hilarious.
Now, would you like a second one, or?
Oh no, that was great. That was perfect. Thank you.
Okay, because I'll do a second one.
Well, no. Is there anything else you want to tell the listeners, or anything where they can catch you at FanimeCon? Is there any specific
Well, the thing is, if you go to FanimeCon, you will catch me because I walk the convention. I go and do the things that fans do when I'm not, doing my panels. I go to the dealer room. I go to the game room. I am, every bit an anime fan. So I am easily spotted.
You're a geek like one of us.
I am. I started out as an anime fan back in fact, technically I was an anime fan before I even knew what anime was, because when I was a little kid, when I was watching Speed Racer, I was at an age where the idea of Japanese animation really didn't occur to me, I would watch Speed Racer and Gatchaman, which of course at that time was being released to America as Battle of the Planets. And it wasn't until I was watching the Yamato series, which was released to America as Star Blazers, did I get the idea of Japanese animation. That's when I started recognizing the Japanese animation. And so, yeah, no, I've been a fan for a long time. And honestly, never anticipated that I would actually become an anime voice actor back then.
It's sort of one of those dreams.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that, I was like, wow, that was really amazing.
Well, we do really appreciate you coming on today, and thank you for explaining more about your job.
Oh, no, my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me on the show. I really certainly appreciate having the time. It was just a heap of fun. Goodness gracious, I was trying to think of I was actually, believe it or not, I was trying to think of a movie, because I was going to, at the end, recommend people go see the movie, but at the moment, all the movies I would recommend aren't in theaters anymore.
Well, we'll see if we can think about it behind the scenes. For everybody listening, this interview, if you missed any of it, which shame on you if you did, it'll be up on the website later tonight.
Yes, shame!
Or
Shame!
tomorrow. So make sure to stay tuned to 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want, nothing you don't. Here's some Ayumi Hamazaki and her song,